For months, only the locals have graced the beaches of Playa de Palma in Mallorca. In the last 24 hours, things have changed. Hundreds of German tourists have arrived and thousands more are coming. It's welcome news for the owner of this bar, which reopened recently but with few customers. The Germans are this resort's major tourists.
Ya ayer mismo hubo una diferencia, por ejemplo, monetaria, en que es un poco significativa, ¿no? De que estamos hablando de entre un 20 a un 30%. Entonces eso nos da un poquito más de optimismo.
If the Germans congregate here, UK tourists head for other sandy pastures. Drive 30 minutes west and you'll come to the resort famous for British imports, from pub names to food and holiday makers. But there are no tourists here now. And in Magaluf, you'll find bar owners with none of the optimism of down the road. They've heard talk of UK visitors having to quarantine on arrival.
I would like to quarantine every time, that I'm going abroad, because then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. After you go on holidays for 2 weeks. It's like, you're out of the world for a month.
This is Magaluf's most famous street, the centre of the nightlife, where at this time of year and all through the summer, you'd expect to find thousands of UK tourists partying into the early hours. But everywhere's closed. They're waiting for the tourists. Spain had said that UK tourists would be included in those Europeans allowed to enter the country from this weekend, but the government is still considering quarantine, something the UK is demanding of Spaniards travelling in the other direction.
Still, the Spanish government hasn't decided whether this is going to work based on epidemiological rates. Is it going to be based on other criteria, reciprocity, for example? So it's still in the air. I wouldn't say they can come and I wouldn't say they cannot come. I think it's still to be decided in the next days.
Is it possible they can come but have to go into quarantine?
It is possible.
Those are words unlikely to stir optimism in those desperate to fill the bars, beaches and sunbeds in places like Magaluf, or the UK travellers who usually come in their thousands. Michelle Clifford, Sky News, Mallorca.